In the video that follows, a young girl is in the middle of a solo game when something happens that absolutely terrifies her.
The sky is blue, and I see you.
Nothing is actually visible on camera, yet she insists she spotted a face inside her room. Apparently, that's exactly the kind of thing that's supposed to happen when you play the game she was engaged in. It's known as The Sky is Blue, and the whole point is to capture a floating face on video. Given just how frightened and shaken she was, her parents decided the game was no longer allowed inside the home, but that rule didn't stick for long, and she kept playing anyway.
Blue, and I see you.
And she wasn't the only one in the household willing to bend that rule. Her older sister Vicky grew curious about what had rattled her little sister so badly, so she decided to join in and try the game for herself.
You go, the sky is blue, move down and say, and I see you. And you want to look for a baby's face.
The sky is blue, and I see you.
That's not how you do it. You have to point up at the ceiling and
That's what I did.
slowly go down.
Why do I have to do it slowly?
Because that's how it goes.
The sky...
Just like the first time, nothing shows up. But then one evening when Vicky decides to go through every room in the house alone, with nobody else around, this is what unfolds.
The sky is blue, and I see you. 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 The sky is blue, and I see you.
She was absolutely beside herself over what took place in her bedroom. The chandelier had somehow torn itself free from the ceiling. It made no sense to her, since the fixture had been firmly secured up there. The only explanation she can come up with is that the sheer weight eventually pulled it loose, but even that theory doesn't fully sit right with her, especially given the timing of it happening mid-game.
This is what felt... That game... Absolutely.
Coincidence or not, the sudden crash of that ceiling fixture sent her sprinting out of the room in a complete panic. It's not hard to understand why Vicky has refused to touch that game ever since. Whether the game itself had any connection to what happened remains unclear, but until others come forward with their own experiences, this footage is going to stay firmly in the unexplained category. This story goes back to February of 2017. A mother living in Billings, Montana, was suddenly woken up in the dead of night by an alert buzzing on her phone. The device was connected to a baby monitor set up in her young daughter's bedroom, programmed to ping her whenever any movement was picked up. That night, when the notification came through, she pulled up the app, fully expecting to find her daughter standing up in her crib, the usual culprit behind these alerts. But what greeted her on that screen was something far more disturbing. Staring back at her was an unfamiliar man, crouched low inside the room. The instant she registered what she was looking at, she dropped her phone, sprinted straight to her daughter's bedroom. She burst through the door to find the room empty, but she didn't stop to investigate. She snatched her child out of the crib and ran straight out the front door without a second thought. Once she was safely outside, she dialed the police and stood there waiting for them to show up. Officers arrived and swept the entire house from top to bottom, but turned up nothing. Whoever had been in that room was already gone. The only thing the mother had left was a single still frame from the baby monitor, showing the figure crouched in the darkness. People later attempted to sharpen and enhance the image, hoping to make out his face, but the lighting was simply too poor to reveal anything useful. Even now, law enforcement has no idea who this man was, or how he got into the house in the first place. There were absolutely no signs that anyone had forced their way in. The one strange detail that stood out was that the remote for the family dog's shock collar had gone missing. Nothing else was taken, and nothing out of the ordinary occurred after that evening. Who that man was, and what exactly he was doing, crouched in that little girl's room, has never been answered. At this event, a tiny and peculiar creature had made itself at home, without most of the crowd being any the wiser. The animal had distinctly wild-looking features, especially around its ears and face, setting it apart from anything you'd expect to see on a typical cat or dog. It wasn't your average household pet, and it bore no resemblance to a rat either. A little girl, who happened to spot it, was convinced it was a duende, the supernatural being from Latin American mythology. Even with all the commotion going on around it, the creature seemed completely unbothered, sitting there quietly and composed. It just watched the competitors getting ready to dive in, cool as anything. So what do you think it was up to? And if you had been the one to notice it first, what would you have done? Drop your thoughts down in the comments. A woman who goes by Cher online uploaded an unsettling clip to her TikTok account. She had recorded the footage during a walkthrough of a home she and her husband were thinking about renting. Because he wasn't able to join her, she decided to document the rooms on camera so he could see the place for himself. Throughout the video, she moves through the house chatting with the real estate agent, who stays off screen but is audible in the background. Everything looks perfectly ordinary until the camera picks up something she never noticed while she was there. Pay close attention, because this happens fast and it's easy to miss.
And that goes...
For just a split second, a mysterious shape appears in the background. Look carefully, and it seems to resemble someone's head drifting through the space. It glides past almost too quickly to register, then simply vanishes. Here's where things get genuinely unsettling. That figure moves through the area, but is never seen coming out the other side. And when Cher heads toward the exact spot where it should have ended up, there's absolutely nothing there. No noise, no movement, no trace. It wasn't until her husband went through the footage later that the detail really stood out. She also noted that the real estate agent was in a completely different part of the house at that very moment, which rules out the obvious explanation. And consider this: how did whoever or whatever that was disappear so fast, without a single sound, and without showing up anywhere else on camera? After she posted the video, plenty of viewers urged her to look into the property's history before signing anything. Others argued there must have been a third person somewhere inside the house that day, someone who went undetected and somehow slipped away without being caught on film again. So what exactly did that camera capture? A strange trick of the eye? Or something that had no business being in that house at all? As always, I'd love to hear your take. Drop your thoughts in the comments below. This unsettling clip was captured inside a government building in India during the late hours of the night. Everything appears perfectly ordinary at first. That is, until your eyes drift toward the two chairs positioned near the door. Pay close attention. With nobody anywhere near them, the chairs begin to slowly slide across the floor. A nearby employee barely even looks up, dismissing it as nothing worth worrying about. But just moments later, things take a far darker turn. Out of absolutely nowhere, those same chairs are violently wrenched across the floor and slammed into the metal door with tremendous force. No person in sight, no wires, no rational explanation to be found. So what exactly was responsible for moving those chairs? We have footage that actually made it onto local news broadcasts. It's rare for high-ranking political figures to come forward with paranormal experiences, but that's precisely what the former governor of Nuevo León, Mexico, chose to do. He made public security recordings from his personal estate, and the unexplained activity they contain is genuinely puzzling. The camera looks out over his sprawling property, with a dark mountain range rising ominously in the distance. Several strange luminous orbs come into view. They appear as large, dense concentrations of light. A few hover close to the residence itself, while others wander slowly near the foot of the mountain. Yet their movement is nothing like what you'd expect from insects or drones. Pay close attention to what unfolds in this particular moment. 3 of these glowing spheres line up in perfect single file and begin ascending the mountainside together in unison. Their movement is fluid and eerily precise, completely silent, utterly unbothered by any wind. The clip ignited a fierce debate across the internet. Some people think these could be unidentified craft, while others believe they are brujas, witches rooted in Mexican folklore, who are said to appear as fireballs drifting through the hills. To this day, no one has put forward an official explanation. So, did the governor's security system catch a genuine UFO event on tape? Or is there some rational, down-to-earth answer for these mountain lights? That's for you to decide. The following clip was recorded on a Ring camera and shared to TikTok by a mother who wanted answers. She explained that her daughter had been playing by herself, nothing out of the ordinary to start with. But what unfolds next left every single person who watched it completely at a loss for words.
On steam. But now at the casino, she's playing to avenge Paul's death. She lures Victor into a trap, letting him gain his confidence, win a few hands just to see what his tendencies are. But then she goes for the throat.
Within 4 hours, Sally has cleaned Victor out, winning the entire 100.
You can see the little girl going about her business when, out of nowhere, an object comes flying in her direction. She glances around, clearly baffled, and moves toward it to investigate. That's when things get even stranger. A plastic bag nearby begins moving entirely on its own. It's not drifting the way wind would carry it. It rolls deliberately straight toward her, and in that same instant she recoils, clutches her arm, and lets out a cry. Just moments after that, she bolts upstairs in tears to find her mom. The mother recalls her daughter bursting through the door, gripping her arm, and insisting that something had hurt her. When she took a closer look, she found fresh red marks on the skin, the kind that looked like fingers had grabbed her, despite the fact that nobody else had been in that room. So what's your take on what actually went down? Was there a rational explanation like wind or a camera glitch? Or did something invisible make contact with that little girl? Jane, from the Jane Doe Center YouTube channel, decided to venture out and explore Pine Lawn Manor, a massive abandoned nursing home located in Illinois. More than 3,000 people have died within its walls, with dozens of unexplained deaths occurring there every year. The location has a strong reputation for being intensely haunted. For this particular investigation, Jane managed to gain access to not one but 2 buildings on the property. Very few people have ever had the opportunity to explore the second structure, and those who have claimed there is a specific archive room that, once entered, no one ever wants to leave. There is also a long corridor that carries the distinct smell of stale, caramelized cigarette smoke. As the team made their way inside, activity began almost immediately.
Dude, these hallways are nuts. Like, incredibly long and complex.
I'm tripping out right now.
The music box just turned on inside my bag.
Shut the hell
Clayton, that's
up.
a switch that you have to flip.
I know.
Oh my god. What the Obviously, we don't know if that's paranormal.
That's
but
a little
like, that's weird that we just started off with that, bro. So guys, we might actually get a bunch of...
With things already stirring so early on, Jason Clayton could tell this was going to be a long night ahead. Among the many souls who perished here was a man known as Monday, who had been arrested and later became a caretaker before tragically dying inside the building. To kick off the investigation, a pair of lights and a pen were arranged on a chair in a darkened hallway, and the team set their sights on that corridor as their next destination.
Have the spirit candle. This is EMF detected. Spirits can turn it on and off, so we'll put it right here for Mike. And I'll put the Mel meter right on here. And this is basically a REM pod, so if anything touches this,
Cool.
it will go off. All right, so right now we're in Mike's hallway. Mike, are you here? We want to speak with you. We heard you did great things here. Mike, if you're in here with us, you can turn off the candle. I was just about to say, and it turned off. Or it turned back on. Whoa! Mike, is that you? Right when the candle turned on and off?
Something's just standing there.
After positioning a few devices, the EMF candles began flickering on and off, followed shortly after by the music box activating. Jake kept directing questions into the darkness when, without warning, something responded.
You're here with us, buddy. Can you please turn off the candle on the windowsill right now? You got to do it right when we ask, so that way we know that you're intelligent. Footsteps?
Yeah.
Could you make a loud sound for us? Holy
Damn.
again.
It made a noise.
It did.
That's
It
kind
did.
of a loud.
Between the faint sound of disembodied footsteps and the music box triggering on its own, it became clear that some kind of presence was lingering close by. Jake then let a voice recorder do the talking with a straightforward question, but what came back was enough to send a chill straight down your spine.
Speak into this for me, okay? Do you know who you are? What type of entity is here that scares you?
Are we in danger if we split up tonight?
I turned off the recording. There was something down there.
Footsteps, shuffling, loud. Like, dude, every time I hear footsteps, though, in this building, it just sounds like patients walking. Like, that's the
does.
vibe I get personally.
Yeah.
Is it's just like patients are just like
Going around, shuffling
yeah.
around, yeah. Hello? Can you make a louder sound for me if you're a patient? It just turned on?
Candle, yeah. When you said if it's a patient, candle turn on. It's loving that candle. Whatever,
It
whoever
is.
we're talking
I told
to.
you, bro, it's insane. The candle's
That
crazy.
candle's nuts, dude.
Already been intelligent.
Yeah.
All right, let's listen and see if we got a voice. I got to put it up to, it just turned off.
Yep.
I gotta put it up to my mic too.
A demon.
A demon.
A demon.
A demon.
Holy sh!
It says a demon.
Oh my god!
Let me see if there's more to it. That's literally it. It said a demon. Listen. A demon.
Known in some circles as the Moth God, this entity just made the investigation significantly more unsettling. Another figure connected to the building was a nurse named Ed, who also passed away on the premises. In an effort to reach Ed, the team moved into a middle hallway and began calling out to him, completely unprepared for what would happen next.
Really enjoyed you. They wrote you letters when you passed. I don't know if you know that. They really, really appreciated you and everything you've done for the patients here and the work you did. You seem to be one of the better nurses in a place that was known for abuse. So thank you, Ed.
Yeah. Are you good?
Yeah, like I'm not scared, dude. I had no adrenaline right now.
I'm chill right
Just got
now.
a wave of like I'm gonna puke.
Are you good?
Yeah, I think I'm good.
Damn, dude, even the color in your face is gone.
If you're affecting me right now, messing with me, can you make a sound?
Holy.
Loudest sound of the night, Clayton.
Yeah. That camera got it.
Whoa, whoa, whoa!
What? What?
Something just peeked around the doorway, right behind the camera. Clayton, that was the clearest apparition I've ever seen in my life.
There's another wide angle down at the end.
It won't catch it. It's not gonna catch it.
What? Oh, shit, I forgot the wall.
It's the one.
Hey!
I might have it on my camera. Clayton, it was right there on the right doorway, at the height of the LCD screen.
We want to communicate with you.
See the bottom of that glass pane?
Yep.
It was right there.
If you don't want to show yourself again, can you at least try to be vocal? There's the millimeter on mic stuff. That's a way to be vocal.
Clayton?
That's a way to be vocal.
Clayton, that has not once gone off.
With so much activity packed into such a short window of time, it becomes difficult to dismiss the idea that something paranormal was genuinely at work here. The team then pushed forward to the second building on the property, heading up to the roof, and it didn't take long before something grabbed their attention.
You'll set your camera down there?
I'm gonna put it on this.
I think it'd be sick just to be like here. Can I like get it on your camera? Is that cool?
Yeah, I don't care.
Just like that. Oh, that's. Hold on. You think that's dope?
Yeah, that's sick, bro.
Okay. All right, and then let's put this. Let's put this millimeter. There's a bed in like this room, I believe. Oh, the ball just fell! I put that on there just before we went, and it just fell off.
Camera caught it. My camera.
Clayton, I put that on there, and I didn't even get to ask yet if they could push it over.
Holy.
Oh my God! It already fell off. Oh my God!
How was it sitting?
I put it right here, bro. Right there. Against this wall. It was there for that whole time we went down there, dude. It was sitting like that.
Holy sh**.
That camera's gonna see with the force of which that was pushed off, man. Holy crap. Dude, that scared the out of me.
Wow.
Okay, let's get to investigate. Let's put this on the bed. Original hospital bed from this place.
Dude, my heart has not raced that hard in a hot minute.
That was genuinely a jump scare.
That was fear. Sorry if we scared you. That was just extremely exciting. And
it rolled the other way. It rolled the other.
Can you roll it back?
What was that? Oh, dude. Down there, down there. Oh my God. Is that poltergeist activity now, Clayton? Added to the list of what we've captured tonight? Look. Look at that!
An unseen force caused a ball resting on the railing to shift twice on its own, and strangely, when Jake went over and physically struck the railing, the ball didn't budge at all. That alone was unnerving, but things were about to escalate even further.
Spirits, listen. If you're here with us, can you push the... Clayton, I just tried to debunk it. I just tried. Can you turn off that candle at the nurse's station, please? If we're speaking with maybe the nurse who committed...
Wow.
Oh my God, it just turned off.
Wow.
Thank you. Would you be able to turn it back on for us if you're the nurse and you died of an overdose? If that's how you passed away, you overdosed yourself. Can you turn on the candle for me? Oh.
Holy
my God.
If this was you over here touching the ball that we placed down, can you either come over here and knock it over again or roll it or turn the candle off?
Oh!
Wow, dude!
A mysterious force appeared to repeatedly illuminate the candle in direct response to the questions being asked. Before pressing on, the team moved the candle closer to where they believed the spirit might be, and while gathered near the nurse's station, deeply unsettling sounds began echoing from somewhere deeper inside the building.
That was down here. That was down here.
Really?
Who made that sound? Whoa! Holy f***.
Are you scared now? If you're still here and you're kind of being a little bit weary of the situation, can you just make that light up one more time? And we will try to help you feel a little bit more comfortable. Oh my God.
Something bad is here now.
Demonic.
Thank you,
That thing's
man.
back.
Hey, you're more than welcome to turn that off and go to wherever you gotta go. We'll deal with this, okay?
Thank you very much.
Thank you for your communication and for your time, okay? And I'm really sorry about what happened to you. If you... Holy... That was the same type of sound. That was an outside window. Do you want to roll on outside?
Jake, it's to the point I think we need to, bro.
What was that? The boom boom. Jake, what the... Is someone in here? Dude, what do we do? Is there somebody here? Is there somebody messing with us, or is that a ghost? That's a few too many sounds.
Look, before we call the cops, if there actually is someone in here, make a loud noise right now. You can get out.
Is that outside again?
I don't know.
That was more than enough to put the entire team on edge, leaving them uncertain whether they were dealing with a paranormal presence or possibly someone living lurking inside. They stepped outside and swept the surrounding area, looking for any indication that another person was nearby. Finding nothing, they returned and pressed on, and the activity inside appeared to intensify even further.
Oh, man.
What? Are you feeling the energy?
I feel like I'm walking into like a cobweb.
Oh yeah, the energy is not good.
No. Like I feel like I'm having to like do this to get through this
Yeah.
hallway.
Who's down here? Holy something's back, dude. Whoa, whoa. Shh. Wait, don't move, hold on. What the Who's in here with us?
Ominous sounds began reverberating throughout the entire building, with bangs and knocks rolling through the hallways, a grim reminder that whatever was sharing that space with them had no intention of going quiet. The investigation still had more ground to cover, and so does the full video. So if you want to see how it all unfolds, make sure you head over and subscribe to Jay, Ghost Hunter, retreating fully before the footage ends. So what's your take on that one? Kay is a TikTok user who doesn't post very often, mostly just uploading the occasional photo of herself. By day, she works as a nurse in the high-security lockdown ward of a hospital, but one evening she uploaded a clip of surveillance footage that left her completely shaken. The recording was pulled from the hospital's CCTV system, pointed straight at an unlit lockdown room that had been shut down and left vacant for the day. Keep your eyes glued to the screen for this one. The shape of whatever is in that room is disturbing from the very first frame. A pale, visibly wrong figure can be spotted lurking in the shadows behind one of the structural columns. It doesn't move like anything human. The thing is impossibly tall, with grotesquely elongated limbs that shift in a jerky, unnatural way that's hard to watch. What makes it even more unsettling is that at a certain point in the footage, a sudden burst of red light appears to radiate directly from the figure itself. Nobody has been able to offer a reasonable explanation for where that light is coming from, or how something with those kinds of proportions managed to get inside a secured medical facility in the first place. So what do you think Kay actually caught on camera? Drop your thoughts down in the comments below. Our next clip comes from the TikTok page displayed on your screen right now. The account is run by a woman named Kira, who works as a nurse at a hospital. She rarely uploads content, but one video she decided to post left thousands of viewers seriously unsettled.
8:03. So we're gonna go to 8:03. Literally, no one in here. Nada. Tell me why. And I've turned off all these call lights. I think I'm just gonna keep the lights on for the time being, because I'm probably gonna have to keep coming in here. But literally, they're like, the buttons aren't even lighting up in here. It's just alarming outside in the hallway that there's somebody in here pushing it. And we've been in here twice now.
A monitor lights up with a call for help originating from room 803, and when Kira makes her way down the corridor and steps inside, the room is entirely vacant. Situations like this aren't exactly rare in hospital settings, places that carry a heavy emotional weight and a long, layered history. So where do you stand on this one? Was it a troubled soul, desperately trying to make contact, or just a glitch in the system? Drop your thoughts down in the comments and let us know. This deeply unsettling clip was posted to a TikTok account called Soul Pintog, where it rapidly racked up millions of views. And the reason people couldn't stop watching was genuinely disturbing. Something appeared in the background behind a couple, something resembling a child that seemed to grab the woman by the hair before darting out of frame. But whatever it was, it didn't move like any ordinary kid. Take a close look at what was captured. In the video, the two are seated at a dining table, with the man appearing to gently rub the woman's shoulders. Without any warning, her hair is yanked from behind, and at that very instant, a dark, child-shaped silhouette is seen bolting across to the far side of the room. A handful of viewers were quick to dismiss it, suggesting it was simply a real child caught in unflattering lighting from an awkward angle. But once the footage spread across the internet, a growing number of people began pointing out that the figure's form and the way it moved felt deeply unnatural. On top of that, the couple's reaction makes it obvious they had absolutely no awareness of anything lurking behind them. Whether what we're seeing is genuinely paranormal or something with a rational explanation remains a hotly contested question. So what's your take? Drop your thoughts down in the comments. Joel had been living a nightmare, meticulously recording the terrifying paranormal events unfolding inside his own house. It all begins one night when he hears a loud crash coming from the kitchen, the kind of sound you'd expect from something heavy hitting the floor. He heads straight in to find out what happened.
La verdad ya no soporto estar aquí. Ya no aguanto. ¿Qué será? No hay nada, raza. Esto ya se está saliendo de control, raza.
But when Joel gets to the kitchen, it's completely empty. Nobody there, and absolutely no explanation for what caused that sound. He returns to his bedroom and attempts to get some rest, but the disturbances start up all over again.
La mañana se siguen escuchando muchos ruidos allá afuera. Quieren abrir la puerta, raza. ¿Qué está pasando? Ay, Dios mío. Ay, Dios mío, líbrame del mal. Desde que compré ese espejo, raza. Ay.
And it doesn't end there. The following day, the same thing happens. Joel makes the decision to keep his camera rolling, determined to catch whatever force is tormenting him on film.
Ya se salió de control, gente. Ya no puedo más aquí, gente. Ayuda. ¿Qué quieres? Déjenme en paz. ¿Qué quieres? ¿Quién eres? ¿Quién eres? ¿Qué quieres?
While Joel is in the bathroom, he suddenly hears a knock at the door, then something else, a deep, guttural growling that reverberates through the room. It sounds nothing like a human being. Overcome with fear, Joel bursts out of the bathroom, trying to locate the source. But just like before, the place is completely deserted. By the fourth day, things have taken a much darker turn.
El baño. Desde que compré este espejo están pasando todas las cosas. La madre.
There's a knocking coming from inside the bathroom now, as though something or someone is sealed within. Then late that same night, just as Joel is trying to pull himself together after everything he's endured, something appears that stops him cold.
Mañana acaban de prender la luz de la sala. Desde que compré ese espejo están pasando todas las cosas raras. A la madre. ¿Qué fue eso? Eso se está saliendo de control ya.
A dark figure emerges in the doorway of his bedroom, staring at him from the shadows. Joel launches himself out of bed and charges toward it, but the figure is gone in an instant, vanishing without leaving a single trace behind. Joel has no way to explain what has been happening under his roof, but the footage he's managed to capture points to something deeply paranormal at work, and whatever it is, it has no intention of letting him go. Dan is the face behind the popular YouTube channel Kurzurban, a creator who has built his following by dragging viewers headfirst into the shadowy realm of cryptids and paranormal phenomena. His content revolves around venturing into places soaked in dark folklore, and he frequently taunts the very entities he's hunting. Among his past expeditions, Dan has chased down legends like the Wolfman said to roam northwestern Illinois. Tonight, he's back at the notorious Skinwalker Forest, a place he describes as absolutely crawling with paranormal encounters and cryptid sightings, ranging from Mothman to hellhounds. His goal this time is deliberate provocation, breaking every rule the location demands, shouting the creature's name and whistling into the night in an attempt to lure it in front of his lens. Ignoring all the warnings, he sets up camp without permission and braces himself for whatever the darkness might throw at him. Dan heads deep into the shadowed trail, calling out to the entity over and over. He even invokes the Navajo name Ye Naldlushi. Almost the moment the words leave his mouth, something stirs in the surrounding woods, a response Dan finds deeply unsettling, given how quickly it came after he used that name.
That means Skinwalker. I just heard something back here. I just heard something back here for sure. And that's kind of funny that I just said its name and then immediately heard some noise coming from the woods. Right away, like almost instantly I heard noise coming from the woods. So yeah, those are things you're not supposed to do. You're not supposed to whistle. You're not supposed to call, use its name, and yeah, because I guess it can sense when you're looking for it, or if you're afraid of it, or even if you think about it or talk about it, even not using its name. So yeah, so we do all of that. We do all of that in an attempt to find one. Good idea, bad idea, I don't know, don't care. I mean, I kind of do care, but you know how it goes. See, the only bad part of being out in Skinwalker Woods, this part of Skinwalker Woods, is the further I go this way, the louder it gets because it gets closer to the highway. But on the other hand, this is where the most activity has been reported. So it's kind of a double-edged sword on this part.
Sometime later, while running his spirit talker device, Dan picks up on a sound that sends his pulse racing, the rattling of a chain, cutting through the trees from somewhere out in the dark.
What was that? Dude, my heart's pounding right now. I don't know if you guys could hear it because it was so faint. But right through these trees, literally right through these trees, I heard the sound of a jingle, like of a chain jingling. I heard it was distinct. It was a distinct sound of like a chain, like if you just grabbed like a rusty metal chain and shook it. That's what it sounded like. It was loud enough. I think the camera picked it up. You might have to. Not free. You might have to raise your volume to hear it. But Godfrey got a name. Godfrey. That was weird, though. That was weird. Is there anything out here with us? There it is again. There it is again. Right when I ask, is there anything out there with us? I hear that. It wasn't the chain this time. It was just something moving out here. I don't know. It could be like a loose dog. But I mean, I think it'd be coming up to us by now. Or we'd at least hear it like walking or sniffing the ground or something.
He says it was unmistakably the sound of a heavy, rusted metal chain being shaken back and forth. The spirit talker then spits out a name, Godfrey. Pressing further down the trail, Dan catches a low, guttural growl rumbling from somewhere ahead of him.
What is that? What is that? Dude, something's growling at me from up ahead. Something's growling at me from up ahead. What is that? I can hear it right up there. It's gone now. There was something growling very distinctly, like a low growl. Like you could almost, it's one of those growls you could almost feel instead of hear, you know what I mean? Like if you've been by like a predator in the zoo, like a tiger or a bear or whatever, and you hear it like growl, that's what it sounded like. Alright. I think I might. Someone coming from that way too. Someone's coming from that way too. Guys, dude, I'm freaking myself out. Alright, I think I'm gonna head back to the campsite. Straight up. I'm gonna head back to the campsite and we're gonna get some more answers and stuff. Or try and get some more answers out of Spirit Talker, and then we'll chill for a little bit, and then I'll come back out here and make another run down these paths. What I'm hoping for is for it to get a little bit later.
He describes it as the kind of growl you don't just hear, you feel it in your chest, likening it to standing near a large predator, like a tiger or a bear at a zoo. Then, as if a switch was flipped, everything goes unnervingly still. Following that growl, the spirit talker falls completely silent for roughly 10 minutes. Dan wonders aloud whether the presence of something at the top of the food chain, a skinwalker or a hellhound, might cause the entire environment to shut down around it, the same way every other creature goes dead quiet when an apex predator is on the move. Back at his hidden campsite, Dan keeps the investigation going by the dim glow of a red lantern. Too wet to get a fire going, he pushes on, and once again, that chain rattling cuts through the silence. Right on its heels, he catches what sounds like distinct whispers coming from directly in front of him. The spirit talker delivers a response that stops him cold. We make the noises. Later, after the chain sound rings out louder than it has all night, the spirit talker produces a single unsettling word, agitated. Shortly after that, Dan hears something moving through the trees just behind him. He can't rule out a small animal, but he's certain that whatever it is, something is absolutely back there. Around 2:50 in the morning, with the forest having gone quiet again, Dan switches off his lights and tries to get some rest on his cot, leaving the camera rolling. Then, near 3 a.m., he's jolted awake by 2 sharp stick cracks right beside his tent, followed by the unmistakable sound of something, or someone, walking directly through his campsite.
Alright guys, I just woke up. 2 sticks cracking literally right next to my tent. And then I heard something or someone walking straight across. I don't see anything out there though. I don't see anything out there. I don't see anyone out there at all. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. Alright, I think, dude, I'm not gonna leave. I'm not leaving this tent. There's something out there. There's something out there, dude. I'm not leaving this tent. I'll check back in if actually I'm gonna leave it running. I'm gonna leave it running. I'm not leaving. I'm not leaving. Okay guys, I have not gone back to sleep at all. It's about, I don't even know what time it is. My phone died. I don't even know where my phone's at. But I haven't gone back to sleep, I've just been sitting here.
He lies there frozen, completely blind to whatever is outside. He makes it clear he has no intention of stepping out of that tent. He stays wide awake until the sky begins to lighten. Replaying those terrifying moments afterward, Dan breaks down how the thing outside his tent moved. It did not sound like a four-legged animal, rather it sounded bipedal, two-legged, and was taking very big steps. Whatever it was, it appeared to be large, starting right alongside his tent, rousing him from sleep, then moving around to the front and off down the same path he had entered on. As morning traffic and birdsong signal the return of daylight, Dan wraps up by calling it one of the wildest and most thrilling nights he's experienced yet. He makes it clear that Skinwalker Forest is absolutely the real deal, and says he can't wait to go back through the footage from that final encounter. He closes out with gratitude to his supporters, adding that in some odd way, talking to the camera out there in the pitch black makes him feel a little less isolated. So, what do you think is really out there in that forest? A woman named Candace decided to spend Halloween with her husband, exploring an abandoned prison that had long been rumored to be haunted. But ever since that visit, she says her life at home has never been the same. Candace is convinced that something sinister followed her back from that prison and has been targeting both her and her family. It started with the lights switching on and off on their own in the dead of night while the household slept. Doors began moving without anyone touching them. Then things took an even darker turn when an invisible presence started hurling objects across the room with tremendous force. These terrifying incidents kept intensifying, and it became clear that whatever this entity was, it seemed intent on causing Candace real harm. On one particular evening, Candace and her husband dozed off together on the living room couch after watching TV. What unfolded while they were asleep will send a chill straight down your spine. See for yourself what the footage captured. An unseen force appears to seize the woman by the legs and begins wrenching them in a deeply disturbing manner. Candace jolts awake, screaming in absolute terror. Many who have seen this believe it is genuine rather than staged, pointing to how viscerally real her reaction appears. Ultimately, though, the final verdict is yours to decide. Paranormal live stream. You know what's scarier than sitting through a horror film? Actually being inside one. Especially when all you wanted to do was kick back and play some Skyrim. A YouTuber was hanging out at a friend's place and decided to fire up a completely ordinary gaming stream. Things in the game were going just fine, but the situation behind him was a whole different story. A door in the background slowly swung open on its own, then drifted shut again. Moments later, a second door slammed. He was the only one there. Well, apart from the cat. When he stood up to investigate, the lights began to flicker before going completely dark. Then came another slam from somewhere in the apartment. He settled back into his chair, doing his best to brush it off, right up until an object sitting on the table slid clean off the edge and hit the floor. Yeah, hard pass. In a separate case, a user going by Uju Pomelo Bird has built quite a following with videos that allegedly document paranormal events. Among the most striking moments are kitchen items being hurled across the room and cabinet doors swinging open by themselves, all recorded on a fixed camera. Hoax or not, the sheer chaos and intensity of what unfolds on screen is genuinely disturbing, and it's left audiences struggling to explain what they're actually watching. So where do you stand on this one? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and let's get into what's coming up next. This is Chris, the solo urban explorer behind the popular YouTube channel Urbex Hill, known for venturing into some of the most deteriorated and disturbing locations across the United States. He's someone who doesn't rattle easily, even given the genuine risks that come with exploring abandoned places on your own. One evening, Chris chose to return to a spot that had stuck with him from a previous visit, the Masonic Temple in Cleveland, Ohio. Standing for over a century, this 106-year-old building carries a well-known reputation for its deeply unsettling atmosphere and whispered tales of paranormal encounters. What he documented on this particular visit would only add to the building's dark mystique.
All right, y'all, let's do this.
The footage was recorded on the night of August 8, 2023. From the moment Chris steps inside, a heavy sense of dread seems to trail close behind him. He's walked through countless abandoned structures before, but there's something different about this night, as if an invisible presence is quietly keeping watch. Then, not even 10 minutes in, something catches him completely off guard.
Something touched me, I swear to God. I swear to God, I feel like something just touched my back. I don't know if it was my book bag flopped on my back or what. It scared the fuck out of me, I swear to God. And there's no water drips. Yo, that scared the shit out of me. Okay, let me calm down.
Out of nowhere, he feels a faint pressure against his back. His first instinct is to chalk it up to something ordinary, like his backpack strap shifting. But after scanning his surroundings and ruling out any dripping water or logical cause, that creeping unease tightens its grip. Keeping himself composed, he pushes further into the building.
Shit. The fucking door just closed. My fucking gun. What the fuck? Hell no.
Without warning, a loud bang reverberates down the corridor. A door crashes shut right behind him. There's no draft, no open window anywhere nearby, and the alarm on his face is unmistakable. He's convinced there's no way the wind was responsible. As the footage continues, Chris makes his way down to the lower levels.
People vandalized the resting spot of a dog. It did not look like that the first time I was here.
For a short while, the tension seems to ease, until he stumbles upon a heartbreaking discovery: the skeletal remains of a dog, almost certainly a pet left behind, and never found again. It's a sobering reminder of just how forgotten and isolated this place truly is. Chris eventually turns back toward the upper floors, but retracing his path brings him face to face with something strange.
Closing his door. Hold up. Shit, when I left this, did I close this door? Fuck, I cannot remember. See, this is getting creepy, man. For real. I can't even open the door. What the hell? Hello? This is really weird. It's closed again. Maybe it is the wind. It's closing in. I don't know.
A door he clearly remembers leaving open is now firmly closed. He tries to work out whether he might have shut it himself, but earlier in the video, it's plainly visible standing wide open, and now it won't move at all. He attempts to rationalize it as the wind, but the specific location and timing make that feel like a stretch. Shaken and no longer comfortable, Chris wraps up the exploration and makes his way out of the building. It isn't until he sits down to review his footage afterward that he notices something that stops him cold.
Shit.
In a single frame, just beyond a partially open door, there appears to be a pale, human-shaped face peering out from the shadows. Chris had no idea while he was filming, but the camera caught it all the same. When he went back to investigate the room, it was entirely empty, with no apparent way out and nowhere to hide. So what was it? A squatter? A visual illusion? Or something that defies any rational explanation? Some viewers are convinced it's a spirit connected to the building's long and shadowy history. Others suspect it may have been a real person concealed just out of frame, but the sealed room and the absence of any exit make that theory nearly impossible to confirm. If Chris had never gone back through his footage, would he have had any idea what had been lurking just behind him? And that raises an even bigger question. How much else has been silently captured on camera that explorers walked away never knowing about? While out walking their dog, a Reddit user came across what appeared to be a human hand drifting through murky water. The post sent the internet into a frenzy, with commenters throwing out theories ranging from a dead body to a discarded mannequin limb, and even a drowned animal, such as a possum. The mystery was eventually put to rest when the original poster confirmed the culprit was nothing more than a waterlogged plastic glove, swollen beyond recognition. It was a solid reminder to everyone scrolling that appearances can be dangerously deceiving. Nye Explorer 84 is a channel operated by a man named Brian, who has a passion for venturing into derelict locations across Northern Ireland. I want to be upfront about something. Brian is not a paranormal investigator or ghost hunter in any sense of the word. He's actually been quite open about his skepticism toward that whole world. But during this particular outing, something unfolded that could very well shake that skepticism to its core. About a month back, he finally made his way to an abandoned cinema in Omar, a spot he'd had his eye on for quite some time.
Welcome to the inside of the old cinema in Omar. Been closed for a few years now, but I'm going to take you on a wee tour. Let me turn the camera and see if you can figure out where I'm at. This is the front doors. You come in, smashed. Now, I will use this place as an example as to why people lock stuff up so tightly. Like, in here has been trashed. Now, I do think they stripped a lot of stuff out. So they did like all that there. So it's stripped out. Over here, all stripped out, which you can understand. But the place has been trashed. Like, I don't understand. I just don't get it. But anyway, I won't go into that again. But it is bad, and I'll show you.
The building was enormous. You could feel the history radiating off the place, even as it sat crumbling under layers of dust and eerie quiet. He moved through one space after another, taking in the old screening halls. But that's when the atmosphere started to shift. As he stepped into one of those rooms, his camera picked up something he had absolutely no way to explain.
Oh no, I thought it was a spider. I was going to say, no way, I never see spiders anywhere I go. I'm going to go in here. Right, so the thing I'll say, but in here, right, in here, it smells of smoke. There's means people are smoking in here. And then what'll happen, the place will burn down. Jesus Christ, like honestly. If you're going to these places, do not fucking burn them down. Don't be a sociopath, seriously. What I will say is that there was places, one of them being like the old houses in the old army place where they stayed in the Troubles and stuff. There was a house.
Did you catch that? Let me play it again for you.
In here. Right.
Right as he enters the room, you can unmistakably make out two separate voices, almost as though they're discussing Brian's presence. Both of them even appear to say the words, "It's people." Now here's the part that really sends a chill down your spine. Brian had no clue he'd recorded anything out of the ordinary until he later uploaded the footage to YouTube and began going through the comments section. That's when viewers started flagging the voices, and only at that point did he grasp what his camera had actually captured.
5 o'clock in the morning, woke up, got a notification from someone on YouTube who commented in video saying that, don't mean to freak you out, but at 8 minutes 40 in your video from the cinema that you did the weekend there's someone whispering in your ear. So I was like, oh, great. So then the guy on YouTube messaged me.
He also confirmed that he was completely alone in that theater the entire time.
The cinema and where I was at, it's a closed hall with 3 rooms, 3 cinema rooms. I was in all 3 rooms. I walked around all 3 rooms twice. I come down back past that hall on the way out. So that's 3 times I was around that place. There was no one there. There was no one there. And it's not as if I was hearing someone's voice through the wall. It was a...
Throughout the remainder of the video, there are a handful of additional moments where faint sounds resembling voices can be detected, though none come close to the clarity of that first instance. At one point, a viewer flagged a specific timestamp where they believe something strange can be heard lurking in the background.
Down here. Right, so.
Personally, that one is harder for me to make out, but something about it does sound a little unsettling. I'd strongly encourage you to pull up the original video and listen closely yourself. You might pick up on something I completely overlooked. As it stands right now, both Brian and I are genuinely rattled by the whole thing. So what's your take? Were those voices some kind of accidental audio anomaly, or did Brian stumble into something truly paranormal? He's also said he plans to return to the location, so I'll absolutely be watching closely for whatever comes next. Back in August 2025, a YouTuber going by the name Todd posted a video to his channel, Camping with Champion, chronicling an overnight experiment in which he attempted to remain completely undetected out in the open as a way of putting his stealth and survival abilities to the test. The goal was to push his urban survival skills to their limits by setting up a concealed camp tucked deep under the dense canopy of a pine tree. And for a while, things seemed perfectly fine. That, however, was not going to last. Before nightfall, he hopped on his scooter and made his way to a nearby shopping center, and while he was checking out some dumpsters, a stranger walked up and started talking to him.
Guy's back again. He just said, hey, standing over there.
The exchange seemed pretty low-key, and the guy eventually moved on without incident. But not long after that, the very same stranger showed up again, seemingly out of thin air.
In my spot, that same guy that I saw earlier when I went to check the dumpsters was back again. I was just trying to get some like cool shots riding the scooter or whatever, and he just popped up out of nowhere. And then he started asking me like, he's like, do you need me to help you film or something like that? Did I want him to hold the camera or something? I was like, no, I'm good. Then he was like, where are you camping at? And I was just like, just down the road. Like, I shouldn't even have said that much, but. And then he asked me if I wanted someone else to camp with you. Like, what? Dude.
It hit Todd that he had made a serious mistake by casually mentioning earlier that he was camping somewhere in the area, so he wasted no time heading straight back to his concealed spot beneath the pine branches. Alone in the darkness, he did everything he could to stay silent, but before long he could make out the unmistakable sound of heavy footsteps just beyond the bushes. The stranger had caught a glimpse of the faint light coming from his camping stove and had walked directly into his hidden camp.
You hungry?
No.
I got a sandwich here.
I will just walk around until daylight.
Really?
I've died 5 times in my life. I've been shot, I've been stabbed, I've been hanged 3 times. Each time they hang me to I'm about dead and they cut the road.
Yeah.
I don't know what made me walk down this way.
Got any kids or anything?
Yeah, 4 kids.
How old?
Twin boys, 13, 2 girls, 16 and 15.
I got 2 boys.
Well, don't miss the little things in life. Just them growing up, man.
Yeah.
I miss mine.
I used to be a truck driver and I quit because my kids were little. Trying to do this, maybe I can do something better, you know?
Is there someone with you to help you do it?
My wife. I've been married for 15 years. Before I met my wife, dude, I was bad. And I probably wouldn't still be around if I hadn't met my wife.
Over the next several minutes, Todd works to keep the situation under control, one hand quietly wrapped around his pocket knife the entire time. The atmosphere is absolutely tense, and he genuinely has no idea whether things are about to turn violent. Then, after what feels like an eternity, the stranger finally
Of course they call. Good meeting you, brother. See ya.
turns around and heads back in the direction of the highway. With the stranger gone, Todd didn't hesitate for a second. He grabbed everything he had, packed it all up as fast as he could, and cleared out of those trees immediately. The encounter left him shaken, and viewers watching the footage started throwing out their own theories. Some figured the stranger just happened to be passing through, while others were convinced he had deliberately tracked Todd down.
I was actually able to look the guy up, and I found some drug charges from last month where he was arrested. So I'm thinking he probably had just gotten out of jail and was wandering around. He may not.
When people dug into the stranger's background, certain details raised some red flags, including recent criminal charges. Given how unsettling the whole situation had felt, leaving when he did seemed like the only logical call. But whether the stranger genuinely had bad intentions, or whether the whole thing was just a strange misunderstanding, his true motives have never really been confirmed. Clowns have always been creepy, even when they are not doing anything at all, and this CCTV clip does absolutely nothing to help their case. The camera was set up facing a clown mannequin sitting upright on a sofa, its painted smile frozen and eyes staring forward in that way that already feels wrong before anything even happens. The house was empty at the time, no pets, no people, nothing that should have caused movement. For a while, the footage shows nothing but stillness until the mannequin's right arm slowly begins to slide off the armrest. It does not drop or flop the way gravity would make it. Instead, it moves sideways in a controlled, steady motion, lowering until it comes to rest against the side of the clown's body. What makes it even more unsettling is where it stops. The hand ends up positioned right next to the clown's hat, almost like it was deliberately reaching for it. No vibrations, no one-off camera, no visible reason for the movement at all. After the arm settles, nothing else moves for the rest of the recording, leaving the mannequin frozen once again, just in a slightly different pose than before. The owner later said they noticed the arm had changed position when reviewing the footage, and immediately removed the mannequin from the house, because apparently there are limits to what people are willing to coexist with, and a clown adjusting itself when no one is around is one of them. Two friends named Stevie and Ron were filming a light-hearted moment in their living room when something took a sharp turn into the unsettling. They had the camera pointed at their two rabbits on the floor, laughing as Stevie teased one of them by dangling a floppy carrot just inches from its face. The mood was relaxed and wholesome, the kind of clip you'd expect to end with nothing more than a rabbit chewing contentedly.
You don't want that shit.
Do you hear something outside?
Yeah, where's it coming from? There's something like
crouching down there.
Yeah, could you get the light? Yeah. What? What is back there? Where did it go? Did you see where it went?
What? I don't know. I thought it ran down the alley.
Did you see which way?
Yeah. I don't see any.
The black rabbit suddenly lunges forward and headbutts the carrot, snapping the end clean off, as both Stevie and Ron burst out laughing. But their laughter cuts short almost immediately when they both pause and look toward a window off camera. They mention hearing a noise from outside, even though nothing is picked up clearly on the audio. As Stevie slowly pans the camera toward the glass, something strange comes into view. Just beyond the window, low to the ground, there's a dark shape crouched in a way that doesn't look like any animal they can recognize. It's still for a second, like it knows it's being watched. Ron knocks on the window to scare it off, and instantly, the shape bolts away at an unnatural speed. The two rush outside to check, filming the empty yard and surrounding area, but there's nothing there at all. No footsteps, no animals, no sign anything had been crouching there moments earlier. What started as a harmless rabbit video ended with both of them convinced they'd just seen something that wasn't supposed to be there. Lean is standing just a few feet away from a door that won't stop being knocked on, the sound coming fast and aggressive like something on the other side is desperate to get in. The camera shakes slightly as the door itself begins to rattle in its frame, each knock making it flex more than it should.
Son 3 de la mañana. Hace rato que no escuchaba esto ahí. Ya estoy con mucho menos miedo que antes. Ahora lo afronto más rápido. Esto no sé, la verdad que voy a ver. Voy a tratar de grabar de acá. Miren lo alto que es. No lo puedo creer. No, sos hijo de puta. ¿Quién sos, hijo de puta? ¿Quién sos? No hay nadie abajo, no hay nada. Es increíble. No, es increíble. No puedo creer que no haya nadie.
After a few tense seconds, the door suddenly cracks open on its own. Lean steps to the side, angling the camera so it now captures the bathroom behind it. That's when something even more disturbing appears. Above the shower curtain, a dark, head-shaped shadow starts moving back and forth, clearly visible against the lighter wall. Lean lowers the camera deliberately to show the floor beneath the curtain, proving there are no legs, no feet, nothing standing there. The shadow keeps shifting anyway. Fighting panic, he reaches forward and yanks the curtain back. The shower is completely empty. No one inside. No place for anything to hide. The knocking has stopped. The shadow is gone, and the bathroom is silent. Whatever was at that door moments earlier vanished the second he confronted it. Daniel works graveyard shifts at a hospital, the kind of quiet hours where every sound feels louder than it should. And he says that for weeks, one specific door has been opening and closing on its own during his rounds. At first, he blamed air pressure or faulty hinges because that is what a rational adult does before accepting nightmare logic. But it kept happening in the same way, at the same time, night after night. Eventually, he got tired of explaining it away and decided to record.
This door keeps on opening and closing. Like, there's nobody here. I'm not doing the sensor. But it keeps on opening and closing. And I'm alone. I'm alone.
The camera shows an empty corridor, lights humming softly, when the door at the end slowly begins to move. It opens with a long, dragged-out creak, inch by inch, as if someone unseen is carefully pulling it toward them. Daniel stays completely silent, clearly not wanting to interrupt whatever is happening. After a few seconds, the door stops. Then just as unnervingly, it starts to close again, reversing the motion at the same slow, deliberate pace until it settles back into place. There is no rush of air, no footsteps, no shadow passing by. Daniel later explained this was exactly how it always happened. Never slamming, never sudden, almost controlled. Hospital staff checked the area the next morning and found nothing wrong with the door at all. Since then, Daniel says he avoids that corridor whenever he can, because whatever is opening that door seems to know exactly when he is there. Roy's footage starts already in chaos, the kind that makes your stomach tighten before anything even happens. The camera is shaking as he runs into a room, slams the door shut behind him, and locks it while breathing heavily, clearly panicked by something chasing him through the apartment. Whatever scared him enough to run is still out there. Almost immediately, slow knocking begins on the door he just locked, each knock spaced out and deliberate, like whoever or whatever is on the other side knows he is listening. Then the pace changes. The knocks speed up, growing louder and more aggressive, until it sounds like the door is being tested. After a long pause, Roy finally works up the courage to open it. As the door creaks open, the camera reveals something even stranger. Inside the room is another closed door, facing him directly. Before he can react, that second door suddenly swings open on its own, fast and forceful, as if someone yanked it from the other side. The clip cuts immediately after. Roy later explained that this was the final straw for him. Since then, the activity has only escalated, and he is actively trying to move out of the apartment, convinced whatever is there does not want him staying any longer. Hannah is walking through a building that's completely silent, the kind of silence that feels wrong rather than peaceful. From the layout and the tiny furniture scattered around, it looks like an abandoned daycare. She keeps the camera steady as she moves down the hallway, aware that no one else is supposed to be there with her. As she steps into one of the rooms, the camera settles on a small doll sitting upright on a child-sized chair in the corner. It looks harmless at first, just another forgotten toy left behind. But then, without anyone touching it, the doll shifts. Its body tilts slightly, adjusting its position on the chair as if it just moved on its own. Hannah gasps and instinctively steps back, quickly panning the camera to show there's no string, no one nearby, nothing that could have caused it. The rest of the room is empty, and the building remains dead silent. She doesn't stay long after that. Later, Hannah explained that she left the building immediately and refused to go back inside alone. Whatever was still playing in that daycare clearly wasn't ready to be left behind. Aidan starts recording after days of unexplained activity in his home, convinced that whatever's been happening isn't just his imagination anymore. He keeps the camera steady, focused on a cabinet in his kitchen that he claims has been causing problems on its own.
I feel some paranormal activity going on. There it is. Paranormal activity. I knew it.
At first, nothing happens, and the room is completely silent. Then, without warning, the left side of the cabinet slowly pulls open by itself. There's no one near it, no visible force, and no sudden movement of air that could explain it. Aidan reacts instantly, informing the audience as he keeps the camera trained on the cabinet, half expecting it to move again. It doesn't. The door just hangs there, wide open, like it was deliberately left that way. After the clip, Aidan explained that this wasn't the first time things like this had happened, but it was the first time he managed to catch it on camera. Since then, he says the activity has been getting more frequent, and he's now convinced there's something in his house that knows exactly when it's being watched. This next clip comes from Ian, a familiar face for anyone who's followed Midwest ghost hunting for a while. He's back in the same abandoned factory he's explored before, a place already known for making people uneasy. At this point in the investigation, Ian is walking alone through a deeper section of the building, clearly worn down, but still pushing forward. He briefly discovers what looks like an old elevator shaft, but doesn't linger long because he says the area instantly makes him feel dizzy and disoriented, like the air itself is off. He moves away and ends up wandering into a bizarre, maze-like section of the factory, with narrow pathways and hanging sheets of torn material that force him to physically push through just to keep going.
Elevator shaft. God. Imagine falling down that. Hell no, I can't even look at stuff like that. I get woozy. Oh, whoa. This looks like a freaky maze. Do I dare go in here? Ah, screw it. Why not? Oh, jeez. Oh my gosh, that thunder. It almost sounded like, oh, whoa, whoa, whoa. What the f? Dude, the f***ing strobe lights are on. Get me out of here, get me out of here. I can't f***ing see. Dude, what the hell was that about? Those freaking things just came on by themselves. Who just turned those lights on? Oh my god, I about fainted when that freaking happened. I wonder if maybe they're motion censored. Maybe they just detected my motion and turned on. Oh god, I don't want to go back in there, but gotta test it out. Oh, my goodness, I'm getting tangled. Oh, the lights aren't going off. What the hell? What's going on? These things should be going off. Look, I'm already on the other side now. Oh man, oh. Yeah, like I'm moving all around in here. And there's nothing. They aren't going off. If you're still in here, could you trigger the lights?
As he makes his way through, the strobe lights in the area suddenly switch on by themselves, flashing violently and lighting up the maze in short, disorienting bursts. Ian immediately reacts, confused and unsettled, assuming they must be motion activated. To test it, he backs out and retraces his steps, deliberately walking the same path again. But this time, nothing happens. The lights stay completely off, no matter how much he moves. That's when it really sinks in that whatever triggered them before wasn't just motion. The randomness of it, combined with the oppressive layout of the factory, makes this one of the most unsettling moments of his entire investigation, and it's clear the building wasn't done messing with him yet. An Instagram user has been documenting what he calls experiments with the entity that supposedly lives in his basement. At first, people thought he was just making skits, but the footage keeps getting harder to explain. In one video, the sound of slow, deliberate footsteps can be heard making their way halfway up the basement stairs.
This Instagram user posted experiments they have been doing with the paranormal entity in their basement. There are footsteps, then the balloon is hit by an unseen force. In a second video, more footsteps are followed by the owner's hand being slapped. Finally, he tries one more experiment. Watch what happens.
Moments later, a blue balloon begins bouncing by itself in the air, not rolling or drifting, but bouncing, as though someone unseen was hitting it upward from below. A few days later, he recorded again after hearing the same footsteps. This time they climbed all the way to the top and stopped right in front of him. The camera captures his arm jerking back twice as two clear slaps echo through the basement, even though nobody visible was there. The final clip is the most unsettling. He holds a roll of toilet paper at the top of the stairs, indirectly daring the spirit in the basement to do something about it. The footsteps start again, slow and heavy, and then the roll begins to unravel itself slightly, but not to an extent that was too crazy. Viewers called it one of the clearest pieces of interaction footage they'd ever seen. It was concrete evidence that whatever's in that basement isn't just moving objects, it's responding. A little girl was sitting on the floor, playing with some of her toys, when she suddenly started talking to someone who wasn't there. At first, upon checking the camera, her parents thought she was just pretending, the way most kids do. But as she kept going, it became unsettling. She could be heard greeting someone and using a name her parents recognized instantly, Grandma Eckersley, a family member who had passed away, and they were still deeply upset by her passing. She spoke with warmth and familiarity, describing her as an angel and telling her about her toys, as though carrying on a genuine conversation. What made it all the more chilling was how naturally she spoke, because it was very clear that this wasn't just the result of a wild imagination. The parents watched the footage in silence, torn between fear and disbelief. Many online have said that young children are more receptive to things adults can't see, and if that's true, this little girl might have been speaking to someone who never really left. Built back in 1887, the house Noah lived in carried a long and eerie history. Locals say the spirits of the original homeowners never left, and after 3 years inside those walls, Noah had no doubt about it. The knocks always came at night, steady and deliberate, like someone on the other side of the door refusing to leave.
Jesus loves me, yes I know.
Built in 1887, this home was haunted by the original homeowners, Judson Hood and his wife Mary Pogue. I lived here for 3 years and just released my 10-part series explaining the history of the home and how it eventually burnt down.
Mary. Mary girl. Ooh, I'm covered in goosebumps. Mary, I know you just died 106 years ago, bitch. Give it up, Mary. Cut it out. Come on, Mary, for real. You done said your piece 106 times, die. Go to the grave. This shit's creepy. I'll give it to you since it's your death dates or whatever. Happy 106th day in heaven. I hope you're in heaven.
I called 911.
Jesus loves me, yes I know, for the Bible. Come on, girl. What do you want? Normally you shut up when I come down here. I'm gonna try to run past it. Hey, Mary. Mary, can you stop? Mary, stop. Creepy ass painting. I am not cut out for this shit, y'all. My motherfucking rosary.
This time, Noah decided to speak directly to whatever was there, asking it to stop, but the knocking only grew louder and faster, like it was angry. His voice shakes slightly as he warns it again, telling the presence to go away, to rest, but it doesn't stop. The sound keeps echoing through the hallway until he tells the spirit behind it to return to the grave where it came from. The moment the words leave his mouth, the video cuts out completely. The knocking didn't stop that night. A few days later, Noah posted another video. This time, the knocks had returned, louder than ever. The camera shows him halfway down the stairs, his voice tired and frustrated as he films the front door closely.
If you could just please stop. I'm trying to sleep. This is the third time you got me up. I'm here, so come on, what do you need? What are you trying to...
As soon as he stops to catch his breath, the knocking stops too. Like whatever's there is listening to him. He stands still for a few seconds, trying to process it, then speaks again, this time softer, asking the ghost to please stop because he's just trying to sleep. For a moment, there's silence. No movement, no sound, just the hum of the house in the middle of the night. Then suddenly, a scary demon jumped out, except it was actually an edit he added later of himself as a joke, something to break the tension up. But even with that small edit, viewers pointed out how real his fear seemed, how cautious he was walking down those stairs. A few nights later, Noah uploaded yet another video, saying he hadn't been sleeping properly since the last incident. The knocking had changed this time, and was not coming from the door anymore, but from the walls themselves.
Shh. Can y'all please just walk me down, please?
Hello? If you can hear me, please stop. Why are you going faster? Oh, fuck no.
The recording starts with him getting out of bed in frustration, the camera shaking as the loud thuds echo through the house. He walks to the same midpoint of the stairs, where it always seems to happen, calling out, "Hello," and demanding the ghost to stop. For a brief moment, the sounds pause, the house falling completely silent. Then, just as he begins to back away, the knocking resumes, except faster, sharper, almost rhythmic, like it's responding directly to him. His breathing quickens, the tension building as he stays frozen on the stairs. Eventually, it stops just as suddenly as it started, leaving an eerie quiet behind. Noah whispers to himself and slowly retreats back up the steps, clearly terrified to even look back. Whatever is haunting that house isn't finished with him yet. The video begins with the sound of heavy breathing, the man clearly unsettled as he films a see-through section of his wall to capture something very peculiar. As the camera pans toward the kitchen window, a small child can be seen standing perfectly still on the other side, its outline clear against the dim light. For a few tense seconds, neither of them moves. Then, when he finally gathers the courage to turn the corner and check, there's nobody there. No child, no sound, just the faint creaking of the house settling. He steps farther into the room, scanning around with his camera, and that's when a cupboard door suddenly shuts on its own, slamming with force. A whisper follows right after, barely audible, but enough to make him flinch and drop a curse under his breath. The clip cuts abruptly after that, leaving viewers questioning who, or what, that child in the window really was. Zark uploaded what he called the scariest night his family had ever experienced. The video starts with him, his wife, and their young son lying in bed, the woman trying to comfort the child, while Zark decides to get up and see what's going on.
नहीं तुम बच्चे के साथ रहो नहीं तो वो डरेगा
Daddy, can I go?
No mama, you take care of mommy. Daddy will come soon. पूरा सामान गिरा हुआ है. Yeah. इधर भी पूरा कवर गिरा हुआ है.
He walks slowly toward the door, opens it carefully, and peers into the hallway where nothing is there. The house is silent except for the faint hum of appliances, but as he moves into the kitchen, things start to make sense, and not in a good way. Items are scattered across the floor. A cupboard is wide open, and his son's small bike has toppled over near the counter. Even a wall cover that had been perfectly secured earlier is now lying on the ground. Zark lifts it back up, presses it against the wall, and right as he does, the footage glitches. The image blurs, and the power cuts off. A moment later, the video transitions to CCTV footage he recorded earlier that night. The camera shows the cupboard door opening by itself, objects falling out one by one, the bike tipping over without anyone nearby, and finally the cover slipping down the wall on its own. Everything happens in complete silence. No people, no movement other than the objects themselves. Zark has no explanation for any of it EL, and neither do experts. All we know is that whatever's in that house made itself known to all of them that night. Dashcam footage dated July the 18th, 2021 at exactly 10 o'clock at night shows what might be one of the eeriest captures ever taken on a highway. The car is driving steadily down a dimly lit stretch of road, the lights from oncoming vehicles occasionally flashing across the windshield. For the first few seconds, everything looks perfectly normal. It's quiet, calm, and uneventful, but as the vehicle approaches a bend, something faint and human-shaped can be seen running along the side of the highway. Its outline is translucent, almost glowing against the darkness, moving at an unnatural speed, yet leaving no shadow, no sound, no trace on the road itself. The driver doesn't seem to notice, continuing straight ahead, while the figure gradually fades from view. When the footage was reviewed later, people were stunned by how clear the form appeared and how it seemed to match the movements of a real person, except for the fact that you could see right through it. Many now believe it wasn't a trick of light or reflection, but the ghost of someone still running that road, long after their time. A local resident had reached out to Camilla, asking her to record a cleansing of what she referred to as the Death Room, a space with a dark history they wanted documented for a private Facebook group. Camilla agreed to film, thinking it would just be a simple ritual and nothing more.
Heavenly Father, I ask for your divine presence to fill this space. May your light shine brightly through every room, cleansing this home of any negativity, fear, or unrest. Let peace dwell in every corner, and love be the foundation of every wall. Bless this home with your protection, surrounding it with your angels, and shielding it from harm and evil. May every door be a passage to your grace, and every window open to your blessings. In Jesus' name.
The footage shows the woman standing just outside the room in front of the doorway, reading a plea for God to cleanse and protect the space. Her voice is steady, echoing softly off the walls, while Camilla keeps the camera focused on her. Halfway through the prayer, the jewelry hanging from the woman's wrist suddenly shifts and swings on its own, the small, dangly piece moving as if something invisible had brushed against it. The woman doesn't break her chant, but Camilla is shocked at what she's capturing. She's since said this is the clip she shows anyone who doubts her, insisting nothing about that moment was staged. The next video shows Camilla alone, sitting in a room that we cannot identify, explaining the story behind the now infamous death room.
A lot of you guys have seen that video, so I just want to explain it. Basically, one of the patients here asked me to record a video of her while she was anointing her room to post on her Facebook group page. It's like Catholic group page or whatever. And while she was praying, the rosary little gets yanked out of her hand. That's not even the weirdest thing that's happened there. Mind you, we all call this death room because anytime a patient goes in there, they pass away or they get sent to the hospital after they come in healthy. I can't, due to the confidentiality of the families and our respect for everybody in the patients, I'm literally not allowed to say that much. But the craziest thing that happened, and my coworker literally got a video of it. We had this therapy dog come in and it's playing with our patients, and then it literally runs away and it goes to the door of this death room, right? The death room, and it starts whimpering. This is a therapy dog, like.
You like a sucker? You ready to go take a shower? Yeah, here. It's not worth it? Where's your other sucker? You only have one? He said, she left.
Really?
She begins by saying that the room got its grim nickname for a reason. Every patient who was ever placed in it eventually passed away, no matter their condition going in. Camilla's tone is serious, her voice trembling slightly, as she talks about how the room has been avoided ever since. She goes on to share something even stranger, a story about the therapy dog that regularly visits the facility. According to her, the dog once left its group session on its own and walked straight to the door of the death room, where it began to whimper uncontrollably. To back it up, Camilla includes footage showing exactly that, the dog standing outside the door, crying and refusing to move closer. She explains that nobody could calm it down for several minutes, and from that day forward, it never approached that part of the hallway again. CCTV footage from the corner of the hallway outside the so-called death room would only deepen the mystery. The unsettling clip shows the corridor completely empty, save for the green flash of the call light above the door. Take a look at what happens next.
Why is it beeping? I don't know, no one's in there. It's crazy. Get the light, get the light. Yes. Did you just get that on camera? No. Stop. No, I'm not playing with you anymore. I don't like this. No, I don't like this. I don't like this. I don't like this. This is insane right now. Right there.
Okay, you're gonna stop this right now.
After a few seconds, the light begins to flicker on and off in short, sharp bursts, as though being triggered by something unseen. Then, without warning, the door to the room slowly swings shut by itself, the sound echoing faintly through the hall. Moments later, a few nurses are drawn by the noise and go to investigate. One of them, clearly unnerved, calls out for whoever or whatever might be there to stop. They check the room thoroughly, opening the door and stepping inside, but it's completely empty. Nothing and no one to explain what had just been caught. To this day, the death room remains one of the facility's most unsettling mysteries, one even the staff refuse to discuss in detail. CCTV footage from a quiet kitchen captured something that left viewers unsettled. In the dim glow of a nightlight, a strange, fast-moving shadow sweeps across the back of the room, its shape unclear but unmistakably humanoid in motion. Both the household cat and dog can be seen reacting at the same time, their heads snapping in unison to follow the invisible movement. The cat perches its head up while the dog stiffens, staring at the same spot where the shadow had passed, as though something was still there. This all unfolded at 12:45 in the morning, a time when the house should have been completely still. The pet's synchronized reactions only add to the footage's creepiness, giving it a sense of authenticity that's hard to dismiss. When the homeowner reviewed the video the next day, they admitted it gave them chills, seeing their animals watch something that, on camera, looked like pure darkness gliding across the kitchen. They're thinking of selling the house. On September the 18th of 2006, a group of urban explorers decided to experiment inside a notorious abandoned house in Toronto. One of them, acting as the camera woman, documented the entire thing.
So we are September 18th, 2006. We are officially 18 days behind schedule. These guys have been working for 6 months and I have no idea what they've been doing. Our renovation is not gone to any schedule. I mean, there's still drywall these guys haven't hung. I don't know what the hell they've been doing. The hardwood floor is not even touched. We have no electrical. I mean, it's just a wire with a bulb. It's not gonna do me any good. The carpet up the stairs has just been ruined. And there's even more damage, like now things are peeling off the walls. Everything up here, I mean, it's just disgusting. I don't know what the hell's going on. Look at, there's holes in the walls up here. It's just, oh Jesus!
As she steps through the front door, her voice trembles slightly as she describes the interior. The place is filthy and falling apart, littered with old belongings and cracked walls. Slowly, she climbs the creaking staircase to the upper floor, pointing out holes in the walls and floors that make the place even more dangerous using her night vision camera. But just as she's narrating the damage, a loud bang echoes from down the hall. Spinning the camera toward the sound, she captures a faint human-like figure at the end of the corridor, turning sharply as if to hide behind a corner. Her breathing becomes panicked as she realizes she isn't alone. Without hesitation, she bolts down the stairs and out of the house, the footage shaking wildly as she runs for her life. Hugh and her friends made it out that day, so the only question is, will they be returning? Fuego had been documenting strange occurrences in his home for weeks, hoping to finally catch something on camera that explained the unease he felt every night. In this clip, he stands outside his youngest child's bedroom, his phone trembling in his hand as several loud bangs echo from behind the door. The only downside is that his youngest child passed away, but he kept the room in her memory.
¿Se escucha el ruido? Acá está la habitación de mi hija. Ey. Uy, se siente re fría esta habitación. ¿Qué carajo? El ruido viene de acá adentro, me parece. Concha de tu madre, la concha de tu madre. Otra vez, ¿ves? Ruido acá adentro. ¿Qué onda?
Steeling himself, he pushes it open and steps inside, immediately struck by the sound of slow, uneven breathing coming from somewhere in the room. The door behind him slams shut off camera, making him jolt and spin around in panic. Suddenly, a little girl's laugh cuts through the silence, high-pitched and chilling, followed by the clattering of something moving behind the wardrobe door. Without warning, a toy basketball rolls across the floor. Before he can react, the wardrobe itself begins to shake violently. Summoning his nerve, Fuego swings the door open to reveal a small plastic bear toy sitting inside, its speaker crackling to life as it plays distorted music. The girl-like noises intensify, becoming more agitated, echoing from all around him rather than one spot. Overwhelmed, Fuego turns and sprints from the room, the camera not capturing this and cutting after one motion. He is considering leaving the house, but doesn't want to tarnish his last memory of his daughter. A man had set up his phone in a music room. He's long believed to be haunted, speaking directly to his audience about its strange history without going into detail about the incidents themselves. His tone is calm at first, explaining that he's there alone to document what might happen when nobody else is around.
Hola, una. Estoy acá en mi estudio. Puta madre. Otra vez vuelvo a sentir ruido. La verdad que... Escucha la lora. La puta madre. Ay, la puta.
As he talks, one of the guitars mounted on the wall gives a slight, almost imperceptible sway behind him, but he's too focused on speaking to notice. Moments later, a sudden thud echoes across the room as something falls from a desk next to a keyboard, hitting the floor hard enough to startle him mid-sentence. He whips his head toward the sound, clearly unnerved now, scanning the room for any explanation but finding nothing. His composure breaks, and he quickly backs away from the desk before turning and bolting from the room. He is still struggling on what to do next, but who knows if he will see this video. Just in case he does, feel free to comment some advice for him. Crisel Luna, a paranormal investigator known for exploring some of Mexico's most infamous haunted sites, had previously terrified viewers with her visit to the abandoned Hotel Posada del Sol. Now, she's back at the exact same location, continuing her exploration into the unknown. This time, the video begins with her walking toward a rusted old tractor, surrounded by overgrown brush, the atmosphere quiet but tense.
Ay, Dios. Ay, ay, ay. Creo que fue ese pajarito lo que generó el ruido, como que salió de aquí. Ahí está inquieto porque llegamos. Pues al parecer está todo muy tranquilo. Desde que llegamos no hemos recibido una sola manifestación. ¡Ay! ¡Ay! ¿Qué pasó? ¡Ay! ¿Qué pasó? No se vio nada en la cámara. ¿Tú viste algo, Melissa? No. Está revoloteando aquí este pajarito. Parece que se siente mal. Pero esto me asustó. ¿Qué será? Ay, ¿qué será? Aquí está. Eso es lo que nos está asustando. Está inquieto porque estamos aquí. ¡Ay! 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 ¿Qué tronó? ¿Qué tronó? ¿Qué tronó? ¿Qué tronó? ¡Ay, no! ¿Qué es? ¿Qué está pasando? Está aquí bastante oscuro. No sabemos qué está pasando. Hay plasmaciones en las paredes. Si pueden ver. Vean. Ustedes mismos quiero que detecten las plasmaciones de los rostros que hay. De rostros diabólicos incluso. Aquí parece que no hay una sola energía.
Parece que hay más entidades y no solo la de esta señora.
She suddenly freezes as a strange noise echoes from behind her, prompting her to spin the camera around in every direction. But there's nothing there. Determined, she keeps moving, her flashlight cutting through the darkness, when another bizarre sound, closer this time, makes her stop again. She lets out a quick scream, but keeps recording, spotting a bird resting unnaturally still nearby. As she films it closely, another sound erupts in the distance, sharp and loud, like a gunshot tearing through the silence. Crizelle gasps, and the camera shakes, cutting just as she turns toward the noise. The video ends there, leaving her audience desperate to know what she discovered next. Subscribe to my channel, as her story will continue in future videos. In the following video, the man behind the camera keeps moving through what looks like a storage area, the kind of tight corridor where every box and shadow feels like it has weight. And you can tell he is already on edge as he scans each corner with the camera. He stops when he notices a door that should never be opened during the investigation, sitting cracked just enough to make the hallway feel wrong. And he slowly leans in to look behind it, even though the team is nowhere nearby.
La puerta se abre y se cierra sola.
Se está abriendo esa puerta. No hay nadie. Y por acá también se escucha ruido.
He finds the door opening a crack, so opens it and checks behind it just to see nothing. Because of this, he walks away and the door shuts by itself as a strange noise starts playing behind it, and he speed walks out of the hallway. The second that door slams, you can see his whole body tense, because that wasn't wind, and it definitely wasn't timing or coincidence. And the noise that follows sounds like something trying to push through the wall just to remind him he is not supposed to be there. His footsteps turn into a full speed walk that almost looks like he wants to run, but refuses to make noise, and every few seconds he glances back like he expects the door to open again. Moments like that show exactly why investigators always say curiosity is one thing, but when the building answers you on its own, that is when you learn how fast fear can move. It was late enough that the local markets should have felt peaceful, but every shutter was pulled down tight and the whole place looked abandoned, except for May cutting through the empty rows. She knew the place was closed and shouldn't have held any noise at all, which is why the first faint scream stopped her in her tracks, sounding like someone crying out in pain from deep inside the metal-covered stalls. She followed it slowly, each step making the sound grow sharper and more desperate, until it felt like it was right beside her, but no matter where she turned, there was never anyone there.
Imagínate andar por la central de abastos y oír esto.
The screaming and crying keep getting louder as she walks, yet she can't find the source, even when it sounds feet away. By the time she reached the end of the walkway, the noise was so overwhelming it felt like it was coming from the walls, and she spun around expecting someone to stumble out, but the shutters were sealed tight like they hadn't moved in hours. That was the moment she realized she wasn't chasing a person at all, and the way the sound cut off instantly once she stopped filming, almost like it knew she understood, made the silence after feel even worse. May had walked straight into something trying to be heard, and the fact that it never showed itself only made it clearer that she had been listening to a ghost.